right. It's well with great joy I welcome Laurent Tippy I Grade Alfred here
Yes,
at
sir.
Avenue TV Fight. What's going on?
Everything blessed, Junior. What you saying?
Serious thing. It's been a long time coming, right?
For years, we've been talking about this.
Yeah, yeah, and everything lined up. So
Give
we get
thanks
that
for having
to
us.
you. All right, cool, cool. We want to get right into it because for those who don't know, this man has it's like almost a Forrest Gump vibe, bro. This man been everywhere on earth. He did everything, all right? So first we want to start is that everyone knows you as a Virgin Island person, right? Representing St. Croix.
St. Croix, VI.
But you were born in Haiti.
Port-au-Prince, Haiti.
How did that occur?
My father is from Haiti. My mother's from America. They were living in St. Croix, and my father wanted one of his sons born in Haiti, and I was that one.
So he just took you down there.
He took my mother there right before she gave birth, and we went right back to St. Croix a couple of weeks later.
Right, cool.
So it's a reason, though. You know, it's a reason I came through that portal, and you already know Haiti's power and Haiti's bloodline. And there's something very special, and I feel proud to be born in Haiti.
All right, so you're in the VI, right? You're is it okay to say you're a world-renowned swimmer? I know you're on the humble vibe, right?
Well, no, I had the national record in the USVI for about 15 years. So in my country, I could say I'm renowned, but not world renowned.
What was your introduction to swimming?
I think I was swimming before I was walking, brother.
Yeah.
You know, my family always went to the beach, and my father taught me to swim early in life. And began swimming competitively at the age of maybe 4 or 5 years old, super young, and went with it all the way through 2 years in college.
Did you play any other sports as a youth?
Yeah, I played soccer, played tennis, played volleyball, I surfed.
Full around athlete,
All
right?
kind of things.
All right, so you represented Virgin Islands in the Olympics in
Yes.
1992. Right?
Yeah, man.
Can you just briefly tell us about that experience of the trials, the preparation for it?
Yeah. Well, I was preparing for it my whole competitive life as a swimmer. You know, as a swimmer, every year you have competitions regionally to try to, you know, get your ranking and your times up. And by the time I was 17, I was very close to the qualification for the Olympics for my country, the U.S. Virgin Islands, which even though we're a territory, technically, I consider us a nation. And under the Olympic Committee, we're a nation. So we have our own team. So to make the team, I had to beat the national record at the time. I had to be the best there ever was in my event. And I'm 17 years old. And I trained hard, bro. I went hard. I was like Rocky mode.
What was the training schedule like?
Twice a day. It was mornings and afternoons. I would swim before school for about an hour and a half. After school, about 3 hours. You know, no days off really. Maybe Sundays we have days off, but you know.
Were you doing weight training also?
We did weight training too. Everything you have to do. Swimming is the most full body sport there is. You're using almost every part of your body. And it requires a lot of flexibility and strength training outside the pool too, you know. And Tim Duncan was a swimmer in St. Croix on my team. Big up Timmy Duncan. We didn't even
You
talk
swam with
about
Tim
that.
Duncan?
Yeah, man, that was my partner.
All right, so you swam with Tim Duncan.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I always heard he
I
was
grew
a
up
big
with him.
swimmer. Yeah.
Timmy could have been world class. He would have been world renowned swimmer, but he chose the right sport.
Survive. All right. So what was inner side, you now, right? What was that experience like when you broke the record and it's like, bro, I'm going to the Olympics? What was that like?
Man, pure joy and real, you know, happiness to know that I had a mission that I worked so hard on. And this is something that I took with me to other areas of my life, whether it was law school or teaching, definitely in music. The delayed gratification thing, right? Because you put in work and work and work, and sometimes you don't see the results till months and years later. So that's a mental training that sport teaches you. So,
All right. And you make the Olympics, preparing for the Olympics now. How long was that period?
well, after you make the Olympic team, it's only 2 months until the Olympic Games. So it's just really some hardcore preparation.
Was that training different from what you did prior?
No,
Same
with
regimen?
swimming, you kind of got to be careful with your body. You can't overtrain before a big meet. So by that time of the year, summertime, you're really primed. You've already put in months of the hard training. And now it's time to make sure your body's in prime condition and your mind is ready to race. So
All right, so
You're bringing it forward to me, man. Give thanks. I haven't thought about this in years.
you go to the Olympics, right? And for
Yeah.
those unaware, it's 1992.
Yeah,
Dream Team is there.
Barcelona.
This is like a
Hey,
big thing going on, right?
that's right.
Um, I would argue that's one of the biggest hype Olympics I've remembered in the longest time.
The opening ceremonies, I never forget it, bro. Because of course that was the iconic bow and arrow with the flame. The man had the flame on his arrow, shot it over the people. If he had missed, some people would have dead on fire, but he made it right over the cauldron. And yeah, I got to see the Dream Team walk by, you know, Magic, Larry.
What was the camp like, the Olympics camp?
The
You know,
camp
those
was
people
amazing. You know, you stay with different countries. We were in a, you know, in a building with Iraqi wrestlers and, you know, Jamaicans and all kind of countries just interacting. And, you know, you see huge people and tiny people. The gymnasts next to some of the basketball players is the most amazing thing you'll see. And just a real great mix of minds and energies, you know? Yeah.
Do you remember any conversations you had with specific people from other places that really
Oh,
like
no,
kind of
I
stay with
can't
you?
recall specifics. I do know the Barcelona people who took care of us were real gracious, real good people, and they were happy to have us there. But I can't recall. I was 17, bro. I was 17 years old, and it was fun, man. We just had fun, and after the games, we had a lot of fun too.
How many events did you do?
Did 4 events.
You did 4 events?
Yeah.
I take it that the nerves, when did the nerves kick out? When did the nerves mellow off?
Oh, when it was done. Because it's when you go into that stadium, it's nerve-wracking when you see all kind of people around. But it's adrenaline. It's a rush, you know?
And did the level of the performance of others kind of, because you're 17 and your body's still young, were you impressed with the level of performance of the other players?
What? Of course. Of the swimmers, yeah, man. Yeah, there's world-class swimmers, of course. In my event, I'm a sprinter. I'm a 50-meter free was my specialist. I also did 100 and 200, but the shortest event where you just one length of the pool, you don't even breathe. You're just trying to get as high in the water and kick as hard as you can and go as fast as you can. So not a whole lot of strategy, but yeah, man, to see the top, you know, the world record holder, of course, I got to see him race, and it's another level. You know, there's levels and everything. That's what I always remind my children, you know. You can't be afraid of levels and hierarchy, because as good as you think you are, there's levels above you, levels below you.
You come back from the Olympics, right? Then you go overseas to school, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Why did you make the decision to go to Harvard? First of all, hold on, this man has so much things going on. So you find out you make the Olympics, right? That's like a great achievement.
Yeah.
When did you find out you got accepted to Harvard?
Before that, I was already accepted. Yeah.
Yeah. So what was your social life like? You was just like some king or something walking around like?
Nah, man. It's funny because I was, you know, school came easy for me. I worked hard, but it also did come easy for me. So I was like the guy in school who got the best grades, you know. That's why I grade even works for me as a label, because I got the grades. You know, I used to get grades where people knew I'm always going to be at the top of the class. But I was also an athlete. You know, I was also captain of the soccer team and Olympic swimmer. So I wasn't quite a nerd, but I had the mind of a nerd. You know what I mean? So
was there a lot of pressure in your house to perform academically from your father?
Yes and no. I mean, there was expectation more than pressure, you know? He expected
to maintain.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. He expected excellence. He expected straight A's. And it got to a point where they didn't have to pressure me. You know?
Still, you deal with it.
Yeah. I figure out systems well, I guess. You know, I figure out what teachers are looking for, and I'm able to execute. And I always remind my children, going through school, yes, you absorb the knowledge. That's what's most important. But you have to learn how to play their game of, you know, getting the results you want for your grades. You know what I mean?
All right, then. So, you're living in St. Croix your whole life now. You go to Harvard. What was that like socially being on that campus? Because when you're out there,
very different,
and it's a different social demographic up there.
Completely. Right? You know Boston already. Boston, Massachusetts.
So, what was that for you socially?
Well, I think the biggest shock for me was racially. You know, in Boston is a very racially divided city, and almost every college campus, at least in the early 90s, is also very racially divided. I don't know about today, but at Harvard, you had black parties and you had white parties.
Straight.
You know what I mean? You didn't have no mix. And I wasn't too used to that. You know, I went to a private school in St. Croix where we had this almost perfect balance between black, white, and other, Puerto Rican and Arab. And, you know, all over St. Croix, people of my complexion is natural. There's so much mix, there's so much different cross-culture variation, but you get up to that environment where it's very bipolar in terms of the racial, social environment. It was strange.
Also, too, man, as an athlete, now you went to the Olympics, but you weren't. Were you doing intramural sports at Harvard to still get the sports vibe, or you kind of cooled off on the sports?
No, I was on the swimming team.
Oh, you're on the swim?
Yeah, man. How you mean, man?
That's what I was trying. You were on the swimming team.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, I was a varsity swimmer for 2 years at Harvard.
What conference were they in at that time?
It's Division I.
No, what conference?
Ivy League. Ivy League
so
has its
like
own, or the
Princeton?
Eastern Conference, they call it, actually.
It was like Bucknell, Princeton, and that group.
All the Ivies and then a few other schools.
Yeah. So
It's called the Eastern Conference.
So how was that experience coming on the team as the Olympian?
Man, there were a few other Olympians on the team. There was a British Olympian, another Virgin Islander from my team who was on the Harvard team. So I wasn't alone in that respect, but I was in the middle of the pack.
Sorry to cut you. So Harvard's like a swimming. They have a strong
They
swimming
have a
program.
very strong
All right,
program.
cool.
Yeah, top 20 in the country. So, I got there and I wasn't even making the travel team half the year. So it was a transition for me from being the top dog in St. Croix to going to then having to fight for my spot to make a travel team. So
what
levels.
What aspect of your swimming did you have to improve to get into the mix?
Speed, bro.
It was just the speed.
I mean, with my race, that's the aspect you have to improve is your speed, you know? And to get the speed, it's a whole lot of different things. Strength,
make sure
technique.
I'm not familiar with swimming, so what technique?
Technique is huge. Strength, of course. Body type and body build is really important in the swimming and in the sprinting. If you see other sprinters have a certain body type, you know, so, yeah.
All right, cool then, man. All right, so you're at Harvard, right, for 4 years on the swim team.
Yeah.
Division I athlete. You graduate Harvard, right?
Yeah.
Did you come back home or you stayed up there?
No, I stayed. I was in New York City for 4 years as a middle school teacher in East Harlem at a small private school called the East Harlem School.
Why did you make the decision to go into teaching?
I didn't really know what I wanted to do, brother. You know, I'd thought about going to law school from the time I was young. I wanted to be just like my father, just like my grandfather. So I always had that goal in mind. But as I finished college, I really didn't feel like I was ready to jump into another 3 years of grad school. So I got introduced to this school. My mother's a teacher. My grandmother's a teacher. So I have a lineage of teachers in my family too. So I decided to take that up. I was initially just going to do 1 or 2 years, but really enjoyed the experience and decided to stay.
Started making beats, right?
And that's when I decided to start doing music seriously.
So that's when you first picked up an instrument?
Picked up the instrument my 3rd year of college.
Was it acoustic guitar? Was it piano?
Hand drums.
Hand drums.
Yeah.
All right.
Djembe.